Two Sheds Gabby here. Well, folks, 2025, the end of the penny. Golly. I went out to a few banks today and picked up 3 boxes and ordered 8 more. Thursday, I'm picking up a few more boxes and ordering another 4 more. I'm gonna get quite a few before something weird starts happening and they start saying, no, we can't do anymore. But I'm gonna go through one box, put a couple away, and we'll talk a little bit about it, and I'm looking forward to getting your all's feedback and hearing what you think. And while I'm at it, I'm hoping to get some wheat pennies and some copper too. Well, folks, I've gone through 4 rolls, and this is the 5th roll, and I do get at my first wheat penny. It's a 56D. Well, yay, we got one. I've also picked up a 09 that's not in great shape, a 69S, and another one that's just in really good shape. I'll probably hang on to that one too. So I've gone to several different articles, and they're pretty much all coming from the same, they say practically the same thing. One called The Guardian said that they haven't gotten confirmation that the mint has stopped, nor have they gotten any reply back at all. So that's the closest I've got to finding out if they've actually stopped yet. It was on Sunday that Trump reached out and told them to stop production. But, we don't know at all if that meant absolutely immediately or if it meant finish up what you got. I guess in a few days we'll probably learn that information. It's going to be interesting. I looked, and the pennies right now are at 2.79 cents each. Seems like that's up a little bit more since I last wrote. I don't remember. For several weeks, it was the 2.63, 2.67, that sort of thing. But today it was 2.79. I believe that's up a little. Man, this is going to be interesting to see how this all transpires. Is there going to be a mad rush? I've already ordered quite a few boxes, and I'm going to order quite a few more. And I suspect at some point they're going to say, oh, we can't get them anymore. This is the 10th row, and we'll just go through this one together. There's an 82. I have found another 2009 not in fantastic shape and another S penny, but that's it. I've still just got the one Wheatie. Another 82. So I went to a few banks today, like I said, and one of them is the bank. There's an 83. We'll weigh him. One of them is the bank that has the account where I'm the executor of my cousin's estate, zinc. And I thought I'd just pull a little. Oh, there's another Wheatie. Cool. There's number 2. That's good. Oh, nice one. 1935, Philadelphia. That's cool. Get a couple more of those would be nice. So anyway, while I was there cashing in some coins, I wanted to get a little bit of money out of that account because I've got a money market in another account that earns a little bit of interest. And so I told her to, I withdrew some. And she ran it through her machine, several $100 bills, and just handed it. This lady waits on me all the time. We know each other pretty well. And she just handed it to me, and I just stuck it in a little envelope and walked out the door. And I went to the next bank where I had the money market account. And I was getting something together, and I asked my wife, can you count these real quick? And she counted them, and she's like, it's $200 short. I'm like, what? Because I didn't have the lady count it in front of me because I'm just so used to her doing stuff for me. So I said, well, let's rush back there, and surely it'll, won't be a problem. But I got back there, and she was waiting on somebody else, but she looked at me. She said, did I give you too much? I said, not enough. And she didn't really make a face. She's just like, okay. I said I would have come back either way. I'm getting another, I guess, spam call. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, and I've gotten 15 to 20 today. I don't know what's going on. It's driving me bonkers. Unreal. I don't want to answer it. 83, we'll weigh it. But I wonder if I can answer it and say, can I have you stop calling me? I do block every one of them, but they've got 10 trillion numbers, so it doesn't really do anything. Ugh. Oh, just thought of a little story about North Carolina. I'll wait till the next roll. It's not that big a deal. It's just a little bit funny. I wonder how long it'll be before I hear somebody saying they got a 2025 penny. Toward the end of the 11th row, and here's a 1942. That's pretty cool. That's three now. That's pretty good. One from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Oh, and look at this. Somebody removed the edge from this guy. Isn't that wild looking? Scratched it up too, but no rim. The rim is going the opposite direction. It is copper. It still weighs 2.8, even though they've taken that off. I've gotten 16 spam calls today. Unbelievable. Hey guys, I got this in the mail today. Kind of neat. I have seen one of these before, but it didn't come. I got one, but it didn't come with the card here. I won this on an eBay auction for a penny. I still ended up, even though it was free shipping, it still cost $1 because of tax or something like that. But it was kind of fun. This uncirculated Lincoln head penny is stamped with a profile reproduced by John F. Kennedy. Kind of neat. And this is pretty neat. Astonishing coincidences. Lincoln was elected 1860, Kennedy 1960. 7 letters in each name. Both presidents were slain on Friday. Both slain in the presence of their wives. Both were directly concerned with civil rights. Both presidents had legality of elections contested. Kennedy's Secretary Lincoln warned him not to go to Dallas. Lincoln's Secretary Kennedy warned him not to go to the theater. Ain't that wild? Both of the successors was named Johnson, Andrew and Lyndon Johnson. Each name contains 13 letters. Both served the U.S. Senate. Both were Southern Democrats. Booth and Oswald, both Southerners favoring unpopular ideas. Oswald shot Kennedy from a warehouse and hid in the theater. Booth shot Lincoln in the theater and hid in a warehouse. Unreal. That's really cool. That's wild stuff. Here is the 20th row. We'll just go through it together. I have found another 2009, but it's not in very good condition. I got a Canadian penny, but it's not copper. And we are still at 3 wheat pennies. I mentioned the other day that the banks I went to had appreciation day, and I grabbed a bunch of snacks. Just finishing off the last one of those. 83, we'll weigh that guy. Yeah, you can probably hear it land. Something about that 9. It looks like it's got an extra line or something. I think I'll wait and look at that one. I don't know. I'll look at it under the Tom Love there, whatever you call it, and see if it's funny. So, just in North Carolina, I lived in Kings Mountain area. And about 9 or 10 miles away was a little town called Cherryville, North Carolina. 81. And they had a really good little carry-out Chinese called Number One Chinese. And it was really good. And so some days, if we didn't want to cook, or like on a Sunday afternoon, I'd run over there and get carry-out for the family. And I went in there one time, and it was a man and woman that ran the place. Very Oriental. I assume they were Chinese. I don't know. And they were in a dog fight one day when I went in there. I mean, you couldn't, I didn't know, I don't know the language, so I don't know what they were saying, but oh, they were just acted like they wanted to kill each other, screaming at the top of their lungs back and forth at each other. It was good. It was a sight to behold. Oh my goodness. And I did manage to get my food, 82. And then about a week later or so, I was in Cherryville, and the place was shut down. They had, I don't know what the deal was, but they were in such a fight that they couldn't reconcile it, and they shut the place down. And it was closed for a month or two, and a young couple took it over. And it never was quite as good. It was just, some people just got the knack, and I was sad. Here is my first Canadian copper, a 1969. And, oh, looky, a Wheatie right behind it. That's nice. That's number 4. Very cool. Oh, 1938, Philadelphia. That's really cool. There's 2 from the 30s there. If you don't find a lot of them, it's nice to find the older ones when you do. We're bracing for another little snowstorm. They're predicting possibly 4 inches tonight or tomorrow, something like that. I'm now in the first row in the second half of the box, and there's wheat penny number 5, 1953D. 5 Wheaties now. Maybe I'll get 10. I hope so. I told in, I think, the last video about my bank bag that my mom turned into a pot holder. Well, she made me another one with part of the other bag. Let me show you what I got here. So there. Now I've got 2 of them made out of this bag. Oh, and she also found a bag that I may have left it there years ago. I don't know. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I don't know what came in this one. But anyway, it's kind of cool. Hardly ever been used. Size H. Huh. Well, I have plenty now. Let's see if we can come up with another Wheatie. I sure am hoping to hear some more penny news real soon. I mean, this is this is big stuff for our hobby. What's going to happen? I think that we'll have pennies to still circulating for a pretty good while. But things are, if they've halted, if they've stopped, we're going to start seeing some type of change, I'd say really soon. This is the 30th roll, so we'll just go through it together. And we have 20 rolls left in the box. So I guess we'll compare Canada. Canada stopped making their penny in May of 2012. And the mint, whoever did it, they stopped distributing them in February of 2013. They finished up whatever was left. Banks still accept pennies, but they have to be rolled, I guess, in most cases. Businesses that don't have pennies are just encouraged to round to the nearest nickel. However, businesses are encouraged to continue to accept pennies as payment. So it's not like they're not used at all. They just don't make them anymore, and so it's not uncommon to find places that just don't have them. 82. And so I've had people tell me from Canada that they picked up a box here or there. So I guess if they're checking regularly with their banks or stuff, maybe they just come up with one every now and then. I've even heard of people paying premiums for boxes because they want them and they can't find them wherever they are. So I'm assuming similar things like that will happen here. And we've got lots of pennies in this country, so maybe people will go through their drawers and stuff and cash them in. Wheat penny number 6. It's a 1946 Philadelphia. Now I have 2 from the 40s, 2 from the 30s, 2 from the 50s. You know, I was thinking about there's an 82, the Canadian pennies. And if you do get a hold of a box of them, I could see why there could be a premium if somebody's selling them. Because if you're going through it looking for copper, first off, remember that theirs are 98% copper. They're copper ones. Even though they have 3 different weights of their copper ones. As far as the Queen's concerned, back from 53 to 79, and then 80 and 81, they dropped the weight a little bit. And then from 82 to 96, they dropped the weight a little bit more. There's another 82. Those were the 12-sided. But they only had 16 years of zinc. So if you do get your hands on a box of them, we've got, 42 years of zinc pennies? That's why we're not finding as much copper, because we got 42 years worth of zinc pennies we're going through. And their copper went all the way up to 96, and they stopped producing the penny in 2012. So you get a lot more copper if you get a hold of a box of those. Kind of cool. 91. After I take a little break, I come back to a 1944 S. It's kind of rough, but it's fun to find the S pennies. My wife made a meatloaf. It was good. That's number 7. 83. We'll weigh that guy. He looks like copper, but he's not. Hey, right at the end of the next row, and here is 1955. Cool. Number 8. Number 8. It's 6 p.m., and they say that we're going to have a winter storm starting at 7. I don't think it's going to get here at 7 because the skies are still mostly blue. There's a few clouds starting to come in, but I don't think it'll get started by 7. The next row, I got my 4th 2009, but this is definitely the nicest one of the 4. When I went back to the bank to get those couple $100 she had missed, she had what it was in her hand she thought was 1,000. She counted it was 900. Then she counted it again and it was 1,000. And I said, count it again, maybe we can get 1,100 out of it. 13 rows to go, and here is my 2nd Canadian copper penny. 1976. Cool. You all have heard the song Edmund Fitzgerald, and then there's that 83. That part in the song where it says in Detroit, it's where they ring the chime 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. So I was selling computer equipment in Detroit one time, and I asked a person where this cathedral was, and they said it was downtown. And I said something like, I think I'll go tonight when I get out of this convention. And they're like, no, do not go downtown Detroit at night. They said it's very dangerous. And so I'm like, well, wow, okay. So I didn't, you know. But a few years later, my wife and I went up to Detroit a couple years ago and picked up pennies and stuff like that. And we finally got down there to see the cathedral. It's a neat place, but it was under construction. We didn't go in. But it is right, I mean, you go around back and there's nowhere to park. It is literally the road that crosses over into Windsor, Canada. And it's like, oh, what are we going to do? We had to kind of stop traffic for a minute and get turned around. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, if you're going to enter this cathedral, you've got to go park somewhere else. You're not going to go around back. I mean, it is literally the road that goes right across the river, I guess, into Windsor, Canada, 82. But it's a neat looking old place. A dusty old hall in Detroit, they prayed, that's what it says. In a dusty old hall in Detroit. 83 there. I sometimes wonder why I weigh them, and I don't weigh every one. Some of them, it's like you can just look at them and tell, but it's like, oh, maybe, but it never is. Copper. Here is Wheatie number 9. Number 9. What do we got? 57D. Wheat penny number 9. Still got like a dozen rolls to go. So, you know, the penny, well, the coinage is actually under the authority of Congress. And so, technically speaking, Congress decides if the penny literally is shut down altogether. But that doesn't mean that the Secretary of Treasury won't just do what the president asks and just stop production and then wait for an official notice or whatever by Congress. You know, the Republicans, for the most part, in Congress right now are trying to follow Trump's lead. Most of them are on his side. Yeah, there's some bad eggs in there. 83. And we're still waiting on word if they actually stopped or not. We don't know. We haven't heard yet. I can't wait to find out. I'd like to hear. But let's remember that it is actually the official word is up to Congress. But the article that I read about it says, but it is a little bit of a gray area. And that's their opinion, you know. I think over the years, it has definitely been recognized as the job of Congress to keep it or get rid of it, and they've just sat on it. And many people have written that it needs to be gone because you shouldn't keep making something that costs more to make and that lots of people don't use anyway. Look how that number in Liberty is just kind of washed out. I don't think that's where. I think it was just, I don't know, maybe it is where. Maybe it's just where. It's 6:30 now, and there's the moon still out. No cloud cover yet. 8 rolls to go, and here's my third Canadian copper penny. Another 1976. I haven't seen a dime in a while in these penny boxes. Remember, last year I got the first half of the year. Man, I got a bunch of them. And I've only gotten like, what, 2 maybe this year so far? I know it's early in the year, but I've gone through quite a few boxes. I guess the economy's just getting so tough that even Brinks had to tighten their belt and stop putting dimes in their penny boxes. Sure, it's tough times when Brinks can't spare a dime. Hey, buddy, can you spare a dime? We're nearing the end of the box. We're nearing the end of the age of the penny. 7 rows to go now, and here is a 12-sided Canadian copper penny. 1986, 98% copper, but less weight than the other ones that I found. Yeah, just think in a couple of generations, the kids will be out metal detecting. What's this, Grandpa? My father used to speak of those, boy. They call them a penny. But then there were some purists that would yell at them and say, no, that's the cent. The cent? What does that mean, Grandpa? 4 rows to go, and here's my Canadian copper number 5. This is the best I've done in the Canadian copper, and maybe this year, I don't know. 1969. Cool. I like getting those. So, see these toys here? A friend of mine came to see me a few months ago, and he brought his little boy with him. He was playing with these, 83. A few years ago, he asked me if I needed any money because he was doing pretty good and he could loan me some. I said, I think I'm doing fine, thank you. Well, anyway, they had a boy and they've had a few hardships and this and that, and I've loaned him a little bit of money. And he's paying it back. And I told him, if you can't, you can't, but he has been. And so just for fun, his boy left these little toys here. And just for fun, when he finishes paying it off, we're going to mail him these toys back and say, now that you've paid your loan, we're going to send back your collateral. This is it, the last row, and I'm still just at 9 wheat pennies. Man, come on. I really thought I had a good shot at the old 10. It's a nice looking copper penny there. Well, 82. Got a handful of those to weigh. There's another 2009. Again, it's not one of the beauties, but that's several. That's like 6 of those I think I've gotten. And I'll never get another one because the penny's gone. I think even when they take it away, I'll still be able to mess with pennies for a long time. I don't know how it's going to work out yet, but we'll get our hands on them somehow. Even if we got to metal detect them. Oh, look at that. I ended with 9. Golly. Well, let me weigh these 82s, and then we'll see how much copper we got in this box. Well, here we are at the moment. I think it's going to be a little shy. Yep. 2 pounds, 13 ounces. A little shy. It felt like it was. But we'll add this to our copper, and we'll just keep going. Hopefully here in a few days, if the weather permits, I'm going to get out and pick up another few boxes and then order some more. And I've got like maybe 8 or a dozen boxes coming in next week. That's pretty cool. That's it, folks. Give me your comments. Let's discuss what we think is going to be in our future of the penny. And we'll go from there. See you later.